They said Filipinos can't compete globally. They said Filipinos were only good for support roles, background jobs, and low-level tasks. They said Filipinos would crumble on the world stage, that they lacked confidence, resources, and opportunities. But they were wrong. Very wrong. Because one Filipino stepped onto that international stage, faced competitors from the richest countries in the world, and didn't just do well, he won the entire competition. And the world had no choice but to watch. This is the story of a young Filipino who grew up hearing the same negative things many Filipinos hear every day: you're not enough. You can't compete. The world is too big for you. But he refused to live small. He refused to accept the low expectations the world placed on him. And by the end of this documentary, you'll understand exactly how he turned doubt into fuel, fear into motivation, and pressure into power. Because sometimes, all it takes is one Filipino to prove millions wrong. Our story begins in a small neighborhood in the Philippines, where talent is everywhere but opportunities are almost nowhere. Like many Filipino families, his parents didn't have much. His father worked long hours, and his mother juggled several small jobs just to keep the family afloat. But even when life was tough, they never stopped believing in their children. And that belief became the foundation of everything that would happen next. From a young age, he loved creating things. Some kids play with toys, he built them. Some kids watched shows, he studied how they were made. He was the kind of child who would take something apart not to break it, but to understand it. His creativity was natural. His skill was raw. And his determination was stronger than anything around him. But the early years were not easy. When he joined school competitions, people would laugh at him. They would say, "You're too quiet. You're too simple. You're not like the kids from big schools." Even teachers doubted him. Even friends told him to stay in his lane. And maybe you felt that too, when people underestimate you before you even try. Why do people do that? Why do some people judge your limits when they've never seen your potential? Share your thoughts in the comments section. As he grew older, he realized that the only way to rise above the noise was to work harder than everyone else. So that's exactly what he did. While others slept, he practiced. While others complained, he studied. While others said, "Impossible," he kept saying, "What if?" He joined every competition he could find, local contests, regional tournaments, online challenges, anything. And slowly, something started happening. He began to win. Not all the time, but enough to make people notice. Enough to make people wonder, who is this kid? His skills grew sharper, his confidence grew stronger, and his mindset transformed from, "I hope I can win," to, "I know I can win." Until one day, a friend sent him a message about a massive international competition. The kind where participants from dozens of countries gather. The kind where champions are made and dreams are shattered. And the kind where the Philippines rarely, if ever, reaches the top. At first, he hesitated. The entry fee was expensive. The competition was intimidating. And the expectations were low. People literally told him, "Don't join. You'll only embarrass yourself." But deep inside, he felt something. A burning voice telling him, "If you don't try, you'll regret it forever." So he made a decision that would change his life. He joined. But entering was just the beginning. The real battle came afterward. He trained for months, sometimes until 3 a.m., sometimes forgetting to eat, sometimes repeating the same routine hundreds of times. He made sacrifices most people never see. He worked in silence while the world doubted him in public. When the competition day finally arrived, his heart almost jumped out of his chest. He stood backstage surrounded by competitors from the US, Japan, Germany, South Korea, Brazil, countries with bigger budgets, better training, and stronger reputations. They looked confident. They looked prepared. And many of them didn't even notice him. But that's fine. Because when you're underestimated, you become dangerous. The lights turned on. The crowd cheered. And one by one, the participants took the stage. When it was finally his turn, something shifted. All the fear disappeared. All the negative voices vanished. All the doubt turned into fire. He walked confidently to the center of the stage, knowing that this was his moment. And the second he started performing, the entire room fell silent. Judges leaned forward. Competitors turned their heads. And audience members whispered, "Who is that?" His performance wasn't just good. It was world-class. It was sharp, original, powerful, and impossible to ignore. He did things many competitors didn't expect someone from the Philippines could do. Every move was precise. Every second was memorable. He finished to an explosion of applause that shook the entire hall. But applause doesn't guarantee victory. And as the judges began announcing the winners, his heart pounded in his chest. Third place, not him. Second place, not him. And then, the moment that still gives Filipinos goosebumps. First place, the champion of this year's competition, from the Philippines. The entire Filipino delegation screamed. People cried. Strangers hugged him. And he stood there on that stage holding the trophy, realizing that everything people said he couldn't do, he just did. He didn't win because he was lucky. He won because he worked harder than anyone expected. He won because he refused to believe the limits others placed on him. He won because he represented a country full of talent that the world often overlooks. And his victory didn't only belong to him. It belonged to every Filipino who has ever been underestimated. Every Filipino told to aim lower. Every Filipino judged because of their accent, background, or skin color. It belonged to the millions of Filipinos working abroad who excel quietly, to the students fighting for opportunities, and to the dreamers who believe they can rise even when others don't. After the competition, global media outlets featured him. Interviewers asked him, "How did you do it?" And his answer was simple, "I'm Filipino. We rise." Now here's a question for you, why do you think so many people underestimate Filipinos? Is it lack of exposure? Wrong stereotypes? Or something else entirely? Drop your answer in the comment section. His victory changed the way people saw Filipino talent. Companies reached out. Universities offered scholarships. International teams wanted to work with him. But even with all the attention, he never forgot where he came from. He returned home, visited his old school, and talked to students who felt the same doubts he once felt. And he told them the same message he told himself during his hardest days: don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Now imagine something, what would happen if more Filipinos believed they were capable of competing globally? What would the world look like if Filipino talent was fully supported, funded, and recognized? What if Filipino creativity, intelligence, and resilience were celebrated instead of underestimated? Share your thoughts, your answer matters. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this documentary and want more inspiring Filipino stories the world needs to hear, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Because this next part will make you think deeper. After winning, he learned one powerful truth: the world is not against Filipino talent. The world simply hasn't seen enough of it yet. And every time one Filipino succeeds internationally, whether in music, sports, science, business, or art, it opens the door wider for the next one. Talent is not limited by nationality. But opportunity often is. And that's why his story matters. Because he didn't just win. He expanded what the world expects from the Philippines. Today, he continues to compete, create, and inspire. And every time he walks on stage wearing the Philippine flag, he remembers every struggle, every sleepless night, every painful comment, and every moment he almost gave up. But he also remembers the people who believed in him, supported him, and pushed him. His story is a reminder that greatness doesn't come from being born in the right country. It comes from refusing to give up. Now let me ask you something important. What is one dream you've been afraid to chase because others said you couldn't do it? Think about it, and share it in the comments section. You never know, your story might inspire the next Filipino champion. And if this documentary inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs hope. Because the world needs to hear more Filipino stories. And your support helps make that happen. They said Filipinos can't compete globally. But he proved they can. And now, it's your turn.